I'm blown away, man. I think what you guys are doing at Relume is incredible. It's like such an obvious win for anybody who's doing design. Just saves so much time and headache. And it's just awesome to see how quickly you can spin something out like this these days. And we got a link for people to go and
Thanks, man.
it themselves. Like this is awesome.
Hey guys, Adam here. Just a quick one. This video is a recording from a live stream that I did with Nick St. Pierre, who runs a course that teaches creatives how to use Midjourney. Now, the link to the course is in the bio, so go check it out. But Nick is an absolute genius when it comes to teaching Midjourney and getting the most out of it. So we collaborated on this live stream to design and build a website for an electric bike company. We used the Relume site builder to basically create and design the website. We then exported that into Webflow and we were able to build a site in Webflow within an hour. All the assets were created using Midjourney. So you're going to learn a bunch about how to create good assets using Midjourney and also how to get the most out of the site builder. So enjoy the video and go check out Nick's course. It's amazing.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're doing our AI site build today. So those of you who are in here, you're probably familiar with me. I'm Nick. We are talking about how we're going to use AI, Midjourney for asset development, but most importantly, and the focus of today is on a really cool tool by Relume called an AI site builder. Is that the official name? AI site builder?
Yeah. So the Relume AI site builder. Yeah.
The AI site builder from Relume. And it's really amazing. I will let Adam here. So everybody say hello to Adam. We'll do one more round of snaps for Adam for the recording. This is Adam Mura. He is all the way over in Australia. I'm in California today, actually. But Adam, tell the people who you are, what you're up to, what you're building.
Sweet. Hey guys, so yeah, as Nick mentioned, from Sydney, Australia, co-founder of Relume. And Relume actually started as an agency building websites, particularly just Webflow websites. And then over the course of time, we built a component library for Webflow and Figma as a way to sort of like speed up our process for building sites. And then most recently, we've launched an AI site builder. So we got really interested in AI towards the end of last year. We started to ship a few products. We built like a copywriting tool for Figma. And then most recently, we've built like a site mapping and wireframe tool, which I'll take you through today. But super passionate about where AI is going in terms of how it's going to change the workflow for designers and developers, and very interested in like taking the experience that I've had running an agency business and building tools and a new way of working with AI to speed up that process and ultimately improve efficiencies and make more money as an agency. But yeah, I think what we're going to go through today is going to be super complementary to everything that you've learned around Midjourney. I'm no Midjourney expert, so I'm going to be learning a lot from Nick as well. But yeah, I'm super keen to collaborate with Nick in this call and build out a site.
Yeah, I'm pumped to be collaborating with you. I used to watch your the Relume Design League stuff, and that's what kind of inspired this format that we're going for here. I'm here. Sorry, I'm just gonna quickly mute everybody so that we don't get like pop-ups just while people are joining. So let me mute everybody. Adam, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Sweet.
So yeah, this whole 1 hour format here is like, what can we do in an hour with the power of AI, right? We've been, if you've taken the course, we've been going through how we can leverage Midjourney to generate assets, right? Well, this is what we might do with those assets. How might we apply the things that we're generating to a site that might be for a client or for a presentation, but build something that is actionable and real, right? That's what we're doing today. We're going to be making a site for an e-bike. That's the task at hand here. So we're going to be going through and building it with the Relume site builder tool. I'll be prompting the stuff in Midjourney. If you were part of the most recent cohort, I'll be doing the prompting in the cohort resources server. I have some threads in our lessons channel, so you can follow them there. But I think we just jump into it. Adam, what do you think? Should we just get going?
Let's get going.
Let's do it. All right. So Adam's going to be sharing his screen, and we're going to sort of go back and forth, but we'll let Adam take the stage here and give us a look at what's going on in Relume.
Cool. So can you guys see my screen?
You're all good.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So I'm in my dashboard in Relume. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just build a site. And so this is going to take me to a fresh new project in the site builder. So here is what you can see in front of you is the site map tool. Now the site map tool basically enables you to build a website sitemap using AI. Why a sitemap? Like, why is it a good idea to start with a sitemap? Well, it's just a great way to define scope of a project when working with clients. Like, they'll have an idea of what they want, but like the sitemap sort of shows like how many pages and gives you like a good idea of scope. But it's also like a great idea to get the creative juices flowing because it's less intimidating than designing like a wireframe. It's just like a bunch of boxes essentially. And it's also starts to, the output, as you'll see, once we get into it, we'll start generating some ideas for you on like what each section could sort of look like. And essentially that's why we're starting with the sitemap. From here, we'll turn that sitemap into a wireframe and I'll show you how that happens. But let's begin with the sitemap. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a company description. Now, the company that we're going to be focusing on today is an electric bike, essentially. So I've just taken a company description from Cowboy Bikes and just renamed it to Rebike.
All right, what's in this description here? What do we got?
So it's
what makes up a good prompt for this?
Yeah. So a good prompt for this basically explains like the product that they're selling and like the unique selling point of that business. And also like what industry the business is in, like some of the customers that it serves, basically like an overview of the company's product and what they're selling. The more information you can put into this prompt, the better the output's going to be. So you can literally do one sentence and it will give you output. AI is going to come up with information, but the more specific you are, the more specific the output is. So this actually, I'd say this is like a decent company description. If I was using this for a real project, I'd probably want to go into like even more detail on exactly like what the company does, where it's based, who its customers are. And you can even start specifying like what you want to put on the website too. So yeah, that's the company description. Then we have like the number of pages. I'm just going to do 7 just because it's going to be a small site. We'll probably only end up building the homepage anyway. But here is like a rough guess on like how many pages you want for the website. So I guess if depending on the budget of the project, let's just go with 7 here. Yeah.
All right. Questions? So we got Rebike is a Sydney-based manufacturer of electric bicycles that feature navigation, GPS, live tracking. The bike possesses a motor assistance system that measures the speed and adjusts automatically. So all this helps with the copywriting, right? All this additional detail. Got you.
Yeah. So basically the AI will be like, okay, I understand what this business does. Here's content that I would put on a web page.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you're not even talking necessarily about the sections or anything. It's just about the product.
No, that's what the AI can do for you. It is the expert at knowing what sections to put on a website. It probably knows more about the industry than you do. So a lot of the research is taken out of the equation. So it's just really good at laying out. As you'll see, I'm actually just going to press generate and start generating the sitemap, and then we can dive into like what the sitemap basically has put out. So far, it's suggested the pages. So it suggested a homepage, of course, but about page, products page, blog page, services page, which I assume will be like maintenance and service, the mobile app, because there's a mobile app component to this whole thing, and then a contact us page. I can rerun that, and like, just if I'm not happy with this, I can rerun it, but I'm pretty happy with this. Now, in terms of the homepage, it's generated like just the homepage for now. I'm just going to like close this and we can sort of jump into what it's generated. So in the homepage, it's starting to outline all the sections. So it has hero header section, introduce Rebike, its mission, and the benefits of electric bicycles with a compelling image and call to action. So this is what I mean by like, it's now telling you what will go into that section, which will help you think and design for that section. Then we have the feature section, which highlights the motor assist system that adjusts according to the rider's speed and force. So it's now understanding like,
that's cool. That's pulling all that detail from your prompt.
Yeah. And then it's like a features list section, which showcases features such as navigation, GPS, and live tracking. Benefits, which is reduced emissions, improved fitness, and cost savings. And then there'll be like a e-commerce product section, display the range of bikes with images and descriptions. It'll have a testimonial section, CTA section, and a newsletter section. I might actually drop the newsletter section, and I'm just going to add like a blog section, because blog sections are usually pretty.
So right now, when you're going in and you're adding a section like this, these are being pulled from your Webflow component library, right?
Yeah, essentially, at the moment, I'm just like adding a card of information.
Right.
But in the next phase, the AI is going to pick, because it knows all the components, the most appropriate component for each section.
Gotcha.
So one thing I like to do actually is like create a little space down here and just run like a bunch of home pages. So I might just like create like another homepage here. One sec. Just gonna clear that.
So you can
and then I'm just gonna like generate like a bunch. So I guess this is where we're using AI. The effort to generate ideas is zero for us. So it's always a good idea to sort of like generate a bunch of different sort of ideas, pick the one that's best. And so I can like go through this content.
Running like variations on like a Midjourney image. Like you get something that's close and you just run a bunch of variations and you'll pick your favorite.
Yeah, exactly. So like of these, I can go ahead now and pick the favorite one. But yeah, let's just roll with the original. But this is like a good way of running variations and if there's any extra ideas. Actually, what I might do is I might just take this blog list section and just drop this here, because it's got a bit of content in there. So yeah, as you can see, you can like build a sitemap pretty quickly, and I can go ahead and I can like, generate for the entire site, which I'll just quickly do. That can just sort of run in the background.
These are the additional pages.
Yeah, these are the additional pages. So for instance, the About Us section will have like talk about the company's history. It'll talk about a feature. That one's random. I probably would delete that. It will introduce the team behind Rebike, some awards that they've won, and then the CTA section. So the content, depending on like the page name, it'll start suggesting like relevant content to that company. So anyway.
Justin in the chat's asking, do you have a make it pop button?
Coming soon. It's actually something that we're very keen on. Like we can nail the wireframe and the sitemap, but we're very keen on like, what does it look like when you apply AI to like styling and like design? And like, it'd be sick to have like a make it pop button that like, that's the entry point.
Or make the logo bigger, right?
Yeah, make the logo bigger. Cool. All right. So at this point, we've created a sitemap. You can now send this to a client or like go over and sort of get a good idea of what this website's going to look like.
How would you share it with the client?
Well, there's like a view only link, so you can share just directly to the client.
Oh, so you don't even have to like bring it into like Figma or export to Figma, you just share that
Well,
link.
you can just share that. You can also export it to Figma. So we have a Figma plugin, and I can show you that. But basically, let me get Figma up. I think I got Figma to the left here. Yeah. So basically,
using here.
So basically, I have my project. It's called Untitled Project. I'll rename it, but I can now just add my sitemap, and there it is.
Sick.
And yeah, and so like this is all sort of already built with auto layout, and you can like edit it, share this with the client, and you look like a genius. But you've only spent like 2 minutes on this. So yeah, we encourage people to like bring this into like a sales call and like or like part of like the initial steps to close the client, because it's just like, yeah, it's something that you can just present and you look like an expert. But
Ross
yeah,
is asking if you have to click on each of those new pages to generate them, or if you could just like generate them all.
You can generate them all if you go through the original flow. You don't need to click. Yeah, there's like a generate all button essentially. Yeah. Cool. So now we have the base of our website. Let's go to the wireframe view, where now you'll see the wireframe being made.
Shit. This blows my mind every time I watch it. It's just like, it's insane. You have the AI over here building out all these pages with the components, with the copy, just ready to, it's like ready to go too. And it's all copy and pastable directly into Webflow, export directly into Figma, like tied to their library. It's just insanity, the speed that it cranks this stuff out. And just like, I love that everything's unstyled. This is something that I really love about Relume in general. It's like the design is still in your hands, and it gives you all that freedom. But you know, the components, they follow basic structures that we see all over the web, and they're just ready for you to, you know, make it your own, which is sick.
Yeah, exactly. So we've hand built these. There's like we have like over 1,000 components. So essentially the AI is not building the component. We've built the component. The AI is choosing the right component for the content, and then it's going ahead and it's writing the copy inside of that component. So we're going to be copying this into Webflow, but we've built our components using like a Webflow CSS framework called Client First. So we can go through that, but this is built on like a design system. So you make one change that applies across like the entire website. So very much.
Can you dig into one of these sections? We could see what it wrote for us.
Yeah. Let's do it. So discover the future of cycling with re-bikes, electric bikes, bicycles. Like I might actually just rerun that, because I wouldn't say that that's like amazing copy. Okay, so it's basically generate the same thing. What I would probably do
right there, right?
Yeah, I can edit the copy right here. This feature's in beta, so no one has access to this, but we're going to be releasing it in a couple of weeks. But yeah, I'd probably just make it a little bit punchier, discover the future of cycling. But yeah, we have our hero section. And then from here, like if I want to make this like a video underneath, I can like change that. If I want to change it from a button to a form, I can do that.
So when you clicked on your section and then you get this pop-up on the right.
Yeah. So this is like when you click a section, it'll have like basically the component like name, description, which is used to then generate the copy, which is from the sitemap. Then we have the actual component, and then we can replace this component. So I actually like this component. I think I want to use this component, this header 9. And so I think this component could work quite well. This is a lot of copy, so I might just condense this.
So all of those that drawer on the right there, depending on what section or what component you slot in, you'll have those variants, like the form versus button, the image versus video. And then if I wanted to generate new copy, would I just edit the description at the top, like rewrite that description and then click generate copy?
Yeah, exactly. So like, introduce re-bike, its mission and the benefits. Like if I were to just update that to, yeah, cool. And then I'll to generate copy again. It's gonna, yeah, okay, so that works better.
Give it a shorter, punchier.
Yeah, yeah, because it's not talking about like the mission. I wouldn't probably even put the mission, but yeah, this is where like AI is going to suggest some things. They're not always right. So like, this is where I don't think AI is going to be taking anyone's job here. I think it's your assistant. Think of it as your assistant. It's going to suggest ideas, and you need to like be the one to be like, no, that's a good or bad idea. So yeah,
well,
I'm going to
sort of. I love this too. Is like the AI is really just doing the dirty work that no designer really wants to focus on, anyways, right? Like,
yeah,
it's doing all of the heavy lifting. It's just saving you hours of curation and giving you like an easy UI to like quickly cycle through different concepts, which is huge time saver.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And so I'm just going to like tweak this. I'm going to move the image to the left here.
Oh, that's cool. So you just were able to click that little arrow. Oh, and you even get like a column select. See, I haven't played with it in a little bit. I haven't seen this new thing where you can choose the columns here on
you can choose the columns.
That is so sick. You've surfaced all that.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm actually going to switch to, okay, it's background image. I'll keep this. I don't want to switch to a background image. I think this will be fine.
Yeah, looks good. But you could make that 4 columns if you wanted.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I might actually move this back here so that, because I think this will just flow better. Oh no, let's move it back here. I just want to sort of, I think it'll flow better with this section. So what's this section talking about? Explain the benefits of electric bikes, such as reduced emissions. Yeah, so it's basically, we can tweak that, maybe.
It's cool. I love how it even adds like the tagline at the top with eco-friendly. It
yeah.
But there, that's so cool.
I might just go just to sort of, and I might actually replace this component with something else. Let's see what the AI suggested here. Maybe just go for something where it's like some dot points.
So this is all being pulled from the component library that you guys built. I just want to reiterate that, like, these components are generated by AI. This is the work that Adam and his team have been doing to build out all these different components and sections. They have over 1,000 now. And so the AI is just choosing which one would work best based on the content and the section that you're after.
Correct. So I'm just going to add in a section here.
We got our product section.
Yeah, display list of rules. And then I'm just going to generate. Okay, so this is just going to like generate me like because that was one thing that was sort of missing from the sitemap. So now it's going to add that.
So it named the bike and everything. That's dope.
Yeah.
What was your prompt? Display list.
Actually, I might just throw a button in there. I just said display list of bike models. And so it's like, it's just come up with some bike models.
Nice.
Cool. And I just added the buttons there because that's just like a different component that we're using. Maybe replace this testimonial with something like, I think this could probably work.
Yeah, I like that.
And then probably something like this. Okay, cool. I reckon I'm pretty happy with that. Let me see. Maybe 2 column. Cool. And then for this footer, I'm just going to go with like, yeah, I think this will work. I think this footer is good too. All right. So basically,
so we got a homepage.
Let me bug. Let me see. Generate.
So for each of these sections, as you're going through,
still like that,
there's a ton that you can actually just do right here before exporting. Like,
correct.
keep finessing the copy. You can change the variations of the sections before you actually like export to Figma and things become a bit more like static and less like fluid. You can do a ton in here.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
And we're working on more as well, like more things that you can do. But yeah, it's you can do it. You can do a lot of the editing of the wireframe here before you get into Figma or Webflow. But like we do recommend, like if you're gonna like if you want to fine tune this wireframe, like just copy it into Figma or Webflow. I think a lot of people go to Figma because that's like the next part of the process, and you can do that. So I can like just copy this, go into Figma, go to the plugin. I can like paste that in. And so like that's going to add to the canvas with like auto layout already pre-built. And then now I can like really fine tune. Like if I want to like update the design, I can go ahead and do that. And it's also just synced to, I've updated some styles. So like I updated the font in this Figma file because I was just playing around with fonts for this demo, and it's already synced it with like the new buttons and everything. So like,
So cool.
and it's given me the mobile version. So like now I can just go ahead. It's all built with auto layout. I can start finessing that design.
Yeah, so cool. So
yeah,
on the style side, so you guys have a Figma library, right?
Yeah.
And then you also have the Webflow library. So you can update that style, that library with your styles. And then when you copy and paste these over, it'll automatically apply across all those designs, right? Because
Correct. Yeah.
you just kind of like magically made this super sexy. But this is coming from that library, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I was actually, for the purpose of this demo, I created a style guide in Figma and in Webflow just to sort of show you guys how to like sort of set up your files so that you can, increase your productivity if you have it all set up from the beginning. Just need to paste it in. And so, yeah.
Yeah. So something like before you create a project, and this is something that we, for the purposes of time, we have set up a little differently, but you would have your Figma style guide, your Figma library, essentially. You can update those font styles, your typography, your buttons, and like all of your different variables. And when you update that, it's all linked to the Relume components. So once you do that in Figma, when you copy and paste those components over into your project and you have your library enabled, it'll automatically apply all those styles to those wireframes that you are exporting.
That's correct. Yeah.
Which is huge. So yeah, this style guide file is something that you guys offer. So you would essentially just clone this into Figma, and you can go through and you can update all of your H1s, all of your coloring, your boxes, your elements. You can make all these changes ahead of time. And then it'll speed you up even faster.
Exactly.
It's amazing. Yeah.
And if you don't use our file, you can, so in this file, I'm not using any like style guide, but it's like added all the styles to this file. So I can just go into my styles panel. If you're familiar with Figma, styles panel's on the right, and start updating this. Like, let's say I wanted to make this like purple or blue, it will start updating like everywhere that I've used that style of color. And then there's like a page in here, which basically has added all the components that is being used. So if I want to update the source, it's here. That's what it's referencing here. So this is an empty file, but it's always best to start with like our Figma kit because it has it all synced in here. And it'll just make the process of updating it a lot easier because you have this style guide page. And you also have like all the like 1,000 components here that you can, like, if you want career sections, you can sort of like start adding to your wireframe as well. But yeah, let's jump over to Webflow because yeah, it'd be good to start building that out.
Let's get in there. Yeah, we're coming down here, so we got to get into Webflow. But this is what's so crazy. Like all the heavy lifting is done right now, right? Like once we already got the style guide linked up. So we've applied all of our typography and our design for like our buttons and stuff. Even like spacing, shadowing. And then the copy for the most part was already written. We just need to plug in those assets and copy it over into Webflow. So yeah, maybe you can show us the copy over into Webflow and like how the style guide works there. And then while you're tweaking some stuff, I'll go through and I'll show sort of the process that I took to prompting for the assets.
Okay, cool. So typically when you're using pasting into Webflow, the very first step is to clone the style guide, which is a file that we've just created. So you go ahead and you clone the style guide in Webflow, and it'll take you through this sort of process, create the site. And then now this file is ready. So all I need to do is paste in like my components into this file, and it'll work and it'll sync to the style guide. I'll just show you quickly what the style guide looks like. So this is like the style guide page. So it has all like the classes, all the colors linked up, and the UI elements. So yeah, like in Figma, this is the Webflow version. So if I want to update,
this is where you would this is where you might start, right? Before you paste everything over, you want to update your style guide first.
Exactly. But for the purpose of this demo, I've actually created my own style guide just to sort of jump ahead. And so here I've updated all the heading fonts.
What's that font you're using? It's clean. I like it. What is
that?
Yeah,
it's called New Montreal. It's from Pangram. So there's two fonts. There's that one, and then there's Fraction Mono as a bit of a contrast. So yeah,
I use Pangram. I got PP Object Sans in a lot of my presentations.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah, Pangram have a great collection of fonts.
Yeah, great foundry.
I've got some color palettes that we might be using, and then the buttons have been styled with like hover effects and everything. So I'm good to go now. I've created the foundation of my site. So now it's like I just go back to, just gonna name this Rebike. Just go back to here, and I just need to press Control-C. I mean, there's multiple ways to copy it. You can just even right click, copy to Webflow. It'll like show you what to do basically. But let's just go that, and I'm going to paste that in to Webflow. And so I'm actually using the Relume Chrome extension to enable the sync. So we've built this feature that basically when you paste in a component, it syncs to the updated classes. So it's part of our Chrome extension that we've built. So in order for it to like sync to your style guide, you'll need that. But now, as you can see, I have like the Webflow site. So if I go to publish this, I'll have like the entire site fully mobile responsive.
Can you actually drop that link in the group chat too, so people can click around on it?
Yeah, for sure.
Though it's already responsive. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah, so like the bones of this website is here. So it's now a matter of like doing the next stage, which we'll jump into, of like just fine-tuning, styling, and making this, bringing some of the assets that Nick's going to create.
Can you show that responsiveness again?
Yeah, sure.
It's so smooth. Oh.
Yeah. And even like our nabs are pretty cool. Like everything's like ready to go. So yeah, that is the Webflow. So I think now we're going to start getting into like design.
Yeah.
And Nick,
so
I think
you want to show the Figma board, just where you're pulling the assets from, and then I'll walk you through how I kind of set this up, how we set this up. So I just generated some assets here in Midjourney, and I plopped them into our board. On the right, we have the product shots. So we got these different product images here, very similar in different colors. And I'm going to show you how I have this sort of organized, or how you can keep a project like this organized, and then give Adam a chance to drop some assets into there and make some magic happen. So yeah, hey, maybe we'll switch shares. I'll start.
That's good.
Okay. All right, let me get my stuff up here. Where we at? All right, cool. All right, let me share my screen here. You see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, sick. So here we are in Discord. And for cohort 3 folks, I'm in the cohort resources. I created this channel called Bonus Lesson. But you might create a channel, like name your project. So I'm actually going to edit this. I'm going to call it Rebike. So this will be my Rebike channel. And then what I did is I just created these little threads for the different types of shots that I want. So I know we have our product shots. That's going to be our bikes. Lifestyle shots are going to be like images of people with bikes, where we can show them in action, not just like the stark white background, but like out in the world. And then some testimonial headshots. But then there might be another one like some iconography. So I'm going to create a thread, and to do that, just up here on your channel, there's this threads option, and you can create a thread, and I'm going to name it iconography. All right, and I'm just going to say this is where the icons go. All right. So the reason why I'm making these threads is just so I can have a single channel and have everything nicely organized and easy to find. So when I'm prompting, I'll just prompt within the thread. So for product shots, for example, I had a bunch of different prompts that I was playing with, and I'll go through and I'll run a couple. But the one that generated my favorites was this Apple-inspired electric bike design, green frame, solid white background, studio lighting, and then I added hyper-realistic product shot rendering. I found that having the rendering in there, it helped. It helped get it a little bit cleaner and sharper. And I also added sleek and clean because we wanted that sort of minimalist look. And I have a seed number here just because I found it so that I can generate the same assets that we have on the site. But let me run this. So I'm just going to run this in the thread, an imagine prompt. And you can adjust it, but keeping them in thread is nice. It'll help keep things separated. It makes it easy for somebody else to jump in and make edits and changes and follow along. So I really like the working in thread for something like this. All right, so we can see our images. This bottom right one is the one that I thought was the nicest and the cleanest. So I'm going to upscale that one. It's our fourth image. All right. We're just doing the product shots right now. So I want this white background. And yeah, so then I started just doing some like subtle variations. So just to see if it gave us any other takes. And I also ran some strong variations as well, just to kind of see what Midjourney has to offer as alternatives. So I started there, and I'm just essentially trying to curate like my top favorites. The subtle ones are not going to change much, right? Remember, they are going to do like minor changes to the details, but the strong variations will probably give us different frames and more diversity here. So let's take a look. This is our subtle variations. So just like little things, like we get this Let me zoom in here. We get like this little addition here. The way that the charger looks is changing a little bit. So I kind of like this bottom right one. I'm gonna upscale that one. Let's look at the strong variations. Yeah, so different frames. This one's actually pretty cool. I like the sleek. It keeps the battery like the same color as the bike. That's pretty cool. So I'll upscale that one. And to change the color, there's a couple of ways that you can approach it. I had more success with remixing than I did with in painting. So one thing you might try to do is like go vary region and then paint over like the frame, for example, and select the frame, something like this, right? And like carefully highlight it all. So I tried doing that, but what I noticed when I was doing that is that it worked to change the color, but then like I'd lose pieces. So like this top part here, like it would disappear and this would just be white, which I didn't want. So what I found was a bit better was just to do remixing. So that's the /prefer remix. You just want to make sure that remixing is turned on. I already have that on. And then when it is, you'll hit very subtle and you'll get this remix window. And then I just changed the color. So I said like green, and then I just switched it to say blue. And that's all I did. And I submit it. And then something else I tested out because I wanted to try and keep the bike as similar as possible. So I didn't want to like have the details change in between generations. To do that, we can use our like our morph remix. So we just copy the image address. We go through the same process, paste that image address in there first this time instead, and then we'll put blue. And then I'll add an image weight, IW 0.5, into the mix here. So what this does is it's saying, hey, I want you to look at this image and also look at the prompt, but the weight of the image here is half as strong as the prompt, but it'll still carry over a lot of those details from that image, which should help it stay closer to the same look and build as our bike here. So let's take a peek. This was when we just switched it to blue. So you can see how it changed the frame a little bit when we just did our variation subtle and we didn't use that image, right? So we got some different frames. This bottom one is actually sick though. I like these little pops of like the bright baby blue coming in. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna upscale that one. And then this was with that image reference. So you can see much closer to our initial image here. We're not getting as many changes in the frame, much more subtle. This top right is actually really sick. I like this with the little pops of blue. So I'm gonna upscale that one. So yeah, this was that initial image, right? So we had this little black button here, and then we had the battery that was the same color as the frame. And when we use that image as a reference with that image weight, we got, oops, that's not the right one. We got pretty much the same mapping, right? Like we kept that button that was there, and then we still have the battery that's the same color as the frame. So adding that initial image as a reference does help a lot in carrying over those details. Now, if you were to do that same process with very strong, it's not going to be quite as well mapped. So for something like that, I like variation subtle. And then we could change it again. So we can switch the color. Let's do maybe something a bit bold. Let's do orange. And I'm keeping that initial image reference in that image weight. So this is how we're able to generate some variations in our color here without changing and losing those details. So let's take a look what else we got. Get the orange coming through. So these are kind of cool. So it didn't necessarily get the orange exactly how I want it, this go around, that's okay. What you can do is you can upscale the one that's closest, and then you can run it again. That usually helps. And then if you wanted to use that image address in replacement of that initial, you could do that too. So we'll go and run it one more time. So this is how we were generating those product images. Now, what's cool is I could take this, so I'm gonna save it. And I'm gonna jump over into this this new tool by Shopify. Let me copy this URL here. Let me get it in the chat for you guys. Where are we at? Where's that chat? All right, so just drop that in the chat here. So this is a new tool that Shopify released. And you can essentially just drag and drop your image. So I'll drag that image. And then you can reprompt the background. So it's the image background replacement tool. I like this because it saves me a couple steps. Like it'll automatically remove the background for me and then replace it with whatever I have prompt. So it saves me from having to like remove the background somewhere else, or like having to paint out the background really cleanly with like in painting. So I'm really liking this. So they have this one here. I'm just gonna run it. This was like the prompt that I had by default. On the pavement, poolside, idyllic, infinity pool, Hawaiian hilltops, commercial product photography works for me. And then it's just running. So I'm gonna also grab one of these other examples that they have on the grass in Central Park. We can do that one next. Just drag our image in here. All right. So this is giving us, it's going to keep our product the same, right? Here we go. You guys put it in different locations. So this is closest to like the infinity pool, but it doesn't necessarily look like the shadowing is not there necessarily. But this one's pretty good. It's not exactly what I asked for, but this one did a pretty good job. So I'm gonna download that. And then let's try it again with the negative prompt this time. And we're going for on the grass in Central Park. So I'm gonna generate that. Give it a second here. And then I'll drop the one I just did, Adam. I'll drop it in our channel here.
Sounds good.
So I'm just dragging this over. So yeah, now we have our product shot, and then we have our mock-up. It's a little different because I just reprompted this bike, different variations, but carried it over. There's some cleaning up that I could do, but for this, it works for now. All right. This is a little bit slow because it's just a hugging face. So let that go. I'm gonna pop over into Discord. And then for the lifestyle shots, I did a couple things. So I had our image and I wanted the lifestyle shots to keep the same look of the bike. So what I did was I prompted for an image of like a guy on a bike here. And then I used both of those images. So the image of the guy on the bike plus the image here of the bike itself. And then I wrote a new prompt that used both of them. And let's run that. So it's referencing the images, but it's also using the prompt. So it's how I'm trying to like keep the same look of the bike carrying over into our product shots, which can be tricky in Midjourney. to get that one-to-one mapping. But for this, we're just looking for something close here. All right. So this top right looks pretty close. I'm going to upscale it and I'm going to do some variations. See if we get a little bit closer. Here it is. All right, so I'm going to do some subtle variations here. Then I'll do some strong variations as well. Probably help to have an image of a guy riding a bike that is oriented the same direction as well. That would probably help out. Let's see what our variations give us. All right, so these are pretty good. Like this bottom right one looks pretty damn close. This top left one also pretty damn close. This top right's pretty good. So we got some options here. We can keep running variations, but let's upscale. Let's upscale the best here. How's it going over there, Adam?
It's going well, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to start looking at images and seeing what you've come up with.
All right, sick. What's missing? Like what do we need that isn't on the board already?
Okay, so let's see. So we've got the product photos. I think lifestyle photos are good. One of my favorite images that you've created is this the ones with the background settings. Like over here, this one. I'm loving this. I could see us using. I'm actually going to use this image to influence the color palette for the site. Because I feel like a good like technique sometimes is to work with the assets to like then create the styling. So if you're starting with strong imagery, it's a good place to start. Or you want to do the reverse.
Yeah, let me do this with the product that you're using. So which ones are you using right now? Are you using the one?
My favorite bike's this one. I think this one's
which one?
Down here, this one. I think the shape's awesome.
Okay, sick. So here, what I'll do is I'll export this. So I'm just exporting the PNG here. And then I'm going to pop over into that Shopify thing. So this is our other guy. All right, I'm going to drag that in. And then we had like, say on a dirt trail. Oops, so we're going to say, on a dirt trail, summer day, we'll say mountainous background, commercial product photography. And I'll leave the same stuff here. So let's generate. Nice. So another way that you could do this would be in our product shots here. So where are we? So I could take our image, right? And do that variation subtle again. And then I'll just change the description. Well, first thing I'm going to do actually is I'm going to copy the image address because I want to carry those details. And I'm going to paste that in. And then where we're talking about the background, I'm going to change this now. So green frame. And then instead of against a solid white background, we're going to say on a mountain, on a dirt trail. In the mountains, we'll say midday lighting. That should be good. And then I'll add the image weight 0.5. And then we'll run that. So this is us remixing. So that starting image might be a little bit too intense. as a reference, but we can kind of see it coming through, right? It's trying to peek through. So I'm going to upscale the third one here where I can see the mountains, and I'm just going to run it one more time. I'm going to drop the reference image in this case. So reference images will have like a strong effect, which is why we're seeing that white. We're kind of getting it peeking through, right? It's trying its best. But sometimes it just takes a couple of additional variations to get there. All right, we're getting closer. The color's starting to come through here. The other thing we could do, if we wanted to do this a little bit better, so we don't have that white effect, is we can remove the background of our bike image and then upload it. So I'm going to grab this. Where are we at here? All right, sweet. So I'm going to run this as is. Then I'm going to grab. Oh, you already removed the background, didn't you, Adam? On one of these images?
Yeah, it's to the left. Up. That one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the background removed, I'm going to export this as a PNG. And then we'll pop back over. Nice, I'm going to upscale one. I think I'm going to do, you kind of want those oranges. What's the palette you're looking for over there, Adam?
Orange and orange, greenish, sort of like the heels of this image. Like green, like even like khaki, like warmer yellow, sandy tones. Or like, yeah. I think you're getting there, man.
Let's see what we get with the burnt orange mountains. I'm getting close. Should be in turbo mode. Speed these things up. So I'm going to run a variation on this here. I got to get my image URL actually before I do this. So I'm just going to drag my image here into my channel, copy that image address. There we go. Bright midday lion on the orange mountains. Do a little image weight, 0.5. Submit. Let's see what we got with our Shopify. Not bad.
Nice.
It's just kind of floating. This one looks the most realistic with the shadowing. So I'm gonna download that one.
I like that.
Let me drop it over for you. Bow, bow, bow. Bloop. All right. And you got a mountain image. So the nice thing about using something like this Shopify one is that you know the product is going to stay consistent. Because remember, Midjourney is not the best at this stuff. It always tries to make something a little bit new and different, which isn't always ideal, right? We're always going to be kind of fighting with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to do one more. I'm just going to prompt the environment. I'm going to get rid of the e-bike, and then I'm going to do a blend. We're going to see how that goes. All right. Here, Adam, you want to share your screen, walk through the latest while I'll
Yeah, let's do it.
do this render, and then you want some like some testimonial headshots.
Yeah, some testimonial headshots would be great.
Okay, let me stop the share here.
All right, so let me share my screen now. So I took the model that Nick created, and I just started looking at like some colors. Sometimes it's easier to just design in Figma, particularly when it comes to like assets. So I just added some like orange tinge, but basically took the model that Nick created and changed the temperature of the image a little bit and added like some branding elements to make it feel more like the rebike. And then basically just was working in Webflow. So here's where I'm at so far with the design. So we have hero sections in a pretty good spot. Then we have like a feature section that talks about like the position of the motor assistance system. And we can like put an image here. I'll think of an image to put. Here is basically like a feature list. So I'm going to replace these. I think it'd be cool if we could create some icons for this. They could be abstract, but I'm thinking, yeah.
Advanced navigation, live tracking and GPS, motor assistance system. Okay, let's see.
Yeah. And then this, I'm going to then add the actual bike models into here. So we already have images for this, so this should be pretty sweet. Then we have the testimonials. The testimonials, it'd be good to get some headshots here. So just adding people's headshots. A call to action section. I'm actually thinking of adding an extra image below here to sort of add some, to be able to get the image that Nick's using that has just created and like sort of show it here, the bike, it'd look good. And then I actually went back to, where am I? Went back to the sitemap builder and I added an additional section to talk about like support for maintenance and repairs. And so it wrote the copy for me and I added it and pasted it in. So you can actually like just paste in individual sections as well. You don't have to just paste in an entire page at once. So now that's cool. I've got to come up with an image for this. But I think there's one that can be used here. And then this is basically the blog section. So we'll just put like two sort of images here for the blog. And then the footer, which I'm actually going to finesse. I want to put like a big rebike logo at the bottom of the footer. So I'll probably just, duplicate this, delete some of the assets in here, and then I'll add an image, which I already have exported. Let me see. Yeah, so just like that. I think
the
that's gonna
icon,
look good.
should they be solid or outlines? What do you think would look nice?
Probably solid.
Okay.
I think something like the ones that we have here could be cool. Something like this. I think the outline, the solid will probably work better at smaller sizes than the outlines.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, probably just add some margin to this. Oh, didn't type that. So these classes are already built into the style guide. So this is like the benefit of using a style guide is now I have a spacing system that's super consistent, which makes it just look heaps better. So yeah, I think this is in a pretty good spot right now. I just need to add in the assets. So I'm going to go back over to Figma and pick what I think would work well for the next part. Experience the power and precision of our motor assistance system. Are equipped with cutting-edge motor system that automatically adjusts your speed and force. Probably this one. I'm going to export that. Might 2x it.
Got some icons cooking for you over here.
Nice. I think this could work quite well. Okay, and I might just throw like a border radius on that, which is actually make it, I'll use rems instead of pixels. It's probably better practice. And so the icons will go into here. So let me know once you've got those. And now for the
Yeah,
model
it was the GPS, the motor assistance system, and what was the other one?
Advanced navigation.
Advanced navigation, that's right.
For these, I'm just going to adjust to 100% and then pick out. I like the idea of probably creating my own background, or maybe even just like, I might just like do this. So let's go 600 by 600. Add it here. Product image 1. Product. Might throw a background on this so I can see what the positioning of this. And then I'm just gonna and here's the other model. So,
All right, I got some icons here.
dark version.
So I'm gonna use Vectorizer on my end. I'll just let you know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna use Vectorizer to take these icons and vectorize them so that they'll be nice.
I would finish graphic design in top of class for UH, but I didn't.
Sorry, had to mute you, Gabe. All right.
Okay, now I'm going to add in the images here. Model 1. Model 2.
Fair warning, these SVGs will probably need to be cleaned up a little bit. I'll do that though. I'll clean up all the edges from the shadow.
No worries. All right. Now let's add in these icons.
All right, so I'm grabbing them now and I'm dropping them in Vectorizer. Just another free AI tool that you can use. Is this the SVG? This is an SVG. Wait, let me pull this not on the black. It's going on black, right?
Yes, it's going on black, so it's going to be white.
Oops. Let's ungroup everything.
So I'm just going to add in an image here. I'm going to add margin top, margin XX large, image, And then this is where I'm going to add in the desert bike image. Let's see what it looks like with the orange. This is a huge image. I would probably compress before putting this in, but let's come on, Webflow. There we are. And I'm just going to call this CTA image. Throw border radius on that. Okay, cool. And then border radius on that and find. So I reckon this would probably make sense as well.
All right, I got one in there.
What can we put here? Nice. So what one's this for?
Well, here they're all very similar. That's the motor systems. So I have another one that has more of like a compass look for GPS, but that was like a wheel, like a motor, like a wheel. And then I have another that's kind of like a combo of the two.
Sounds good.
More abstract. Okay, where to go? Just managing my tabs here.
Actually, I like this one. I'm gonna export this one. Add in blog images.
All right, we have 15 minutes. We're gonna do it. We're gonna make it.
I think we will.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Okay, let's pop over. All right. And then want everything white.
Yeah, it's gonna edit this footer. Let's change this to max. Over. Footer is looking good. Subscribe to newsletter. All right. I think we're in a good spot. We just need to add in those icons and we're there. And then we can publish this.
Sick.
Oh, the avatars. So the people.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll run that real quick. Here, you can play with these.
Cheers. Okay,
okay, so you drop those in and I'm just gonna show. Here, I'll show my screen of how I'm just gonna run those real quick so we can have
no worries.
Fast curation. All right. All right, cool. So still in this. So one thing that's cool when you do these threads, like, see how it has this channel, but then if I click on any of my threads, so I click testimonial headshots, it just gives me the full screen view, which is nice. So a good way to do something like this, if you want like decent variety, is to use permutation prompting. So I have this prompt here. Permutations are when you use these brackets. So you see how I have some terms comma separated between the curly braces. What that does is it'll run all possible combinations of the things that are within these curly braces. So I have street style headshot shot on Agfa Vista of a 25-year-old. And then in curly braces, I have white, black, Asian. And then I have man, woman. And then I have for locations in New York, by the countryside, in Paris, on a hike. And then I just put happy because we want our testimonial images to be, smiley and happy. And I'm not going to set an aspect ratio. Square is fine for this. So because it's all in the curly brackets, what will happen now when I click enter says, do I want to imagine 24 prompts from this template? If I hit show prompts, oh, it's not showing it. It's just a bug that happens in Midjourney. But essentially the 24 prompts are a 25-year-old white man in New York, white woman in New York, a black man by the countryside, a Asian woman in Paris. It does all possible combinations of these things, which is why we'll get those 24 unique prompts. So I'm just going to hit yes. And this is great because I just have to do the one prompt. I'm going to get a bunch of images back. I'll upscale my favorites and then we'll use those. How many do you need?
I need 2, but they're gonna be so they're gonna be like little circles.
Okay.
Looks like these are gonna be okay. Yeah, they're nice.
So we only need 2.
Oh, I like that one. I like the background of those. They suit the vibe.
This one in the top right suits the vibe real nice.
Yeah.
All right, that's by the countryside is winning here. And then we'll get a lady by the countryside, maybe. Let's see what else we got. Oh, the coloring here is nice, matches. Even like the hoodie. And I like that the beanie gives a little pop of the red. They'll be small, but
Nice.
all right, here we'll go with this guy, and then I'll pop this over. And we got this one matches nicely too. The countryside ones are the vibe for sure. So yeah, you can see we got all this diversity in our models from that permutation prompting. It's also pretty
nice.
Good. Oh, these are nice too. So I'm just copying that over. Paste it in.
Nice. They're quite large too. It's good. Super high quality.
Yeah, they're 1024 by 1024. They'll be releasing an upscaler soon though, which will go to 2K by 2K, which will be nice.
Perfect.
Nice. Yeah, it totally fits the palette, huh?
Totally. All right, so I was gonna get this. Do I need? I only need 2.
I have all my testimonial headshots now in my testimonial headshots thread. Nicely organized for me. We could build our own Unsplash. Just run a bunch of permutation prompts. And then I have all the iconography upscales here. And just to show you what I did, I pretty much just I went copy image, and then I popped over into Vectorizer. And Vectorizer is a free tool, and you just Command V, and it turns it into a vector. So this one, like the top is a little cut off. That's okay. If I wanted to change that, I would just do a little zoom out, 1.5. That'll fix that issue for us. But with Vectorizer, oh, let me move this. I can't see it. You just hit download. And it downloads the SVG. And then when I drag it over into Figma, I just select the layers that I want to remove. So I want to remove the white. Oh, my Figma's got a bug. I have to refresh. Got stuck. So yeah, just I'm holding Command, just selecting those layers that I want to remove. And then this is a vector, right? So I can go in here, I can adjust the color, the fill, and then it groups the outlines separately. So if you wanted to remove those outlines, I had them separated here. Vectorizer gives you a bunch of options too of how you can change the groupings. But this is really great, like super, super useful with a lot of different things. Vectorizer works really awesome. I did a stream the other day. I was making like a sticker pack, like a Halloween sticker pack. Vectorizer is perfect for that. All right, here, I'll stop share.
All right, one sec. Okay, let's see. I'll add my screen. I've started to
oh, the
add in.
icons work pretty good actually.
Yeah. So I'm going to put an icon wrapper on these. I don't know, just bring some of that orange tinge into it. Don't know if I love that, but I think it ties it in quite nicely. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to do, so here's where the page is at. So we got that.
You added a little you add a little icon in there? Oh, you put the little Rebike logo on there?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
That looks sick.
Cool. Then we got the bikes. These are different models. Which if you guys want to order them, you can soon. And then got the testimonials. You know what? These testimonials headshots are so good. I wish they were sort of bigger. I might change the design. Then we have like this call to action. So order your bike today.
I love that.
Yeah, it's sick. And then we have the maintenance. Then we have the blog. So we're able to use that looks awesome. And yeah, the footer. One last thing I'm going to do to make this feel a little bit more special is I'm going to select, this is like a bit of a Webflow tutorial, but I'm going to select this and I'm going to make the position of this fixed, right? And I'm going to put the Z index to 0. And then for this next section, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 100 viewport height, which basically padding that matches the height of the hero section. So that then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this Z index. I think for it to work, there we are.
Nice.
Yeah. So for it to work, I have to apply the Z index to all of them. So I'm just going to go, I've actually got a class for that, Z index 1, that I'll just apply to all of them.
And when Adam said
sections.
He has the class for this, what he really means is that Relume has a class for this, so you'll be able to use the same class,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
This isn't like it's part of the design system, the class system that's already provided in the Relume style guide.
Yeah. So this is a bit of an extra headache to achieve. Oh, this doesn't even have a background. Let's get a background on that. Just going to add a white background so that, yeah, pulls through. And I don't think the footer has the background either. Webflow's recently changed their UI. I'm still getting used to it. And then said
recently, you mean like 10 minutes
today? Yeah.
10 minutes before we started this session.
Yeah, exactly. And then add white there. Oh, it's never ending.
We're so close. We have 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes. You can do it.
All right, let's go. Publish that bad boy. Let's do it.
Publish, drop the link. I want to check it.
All right, this is what it was before.
All right.
And now.
Ooh. Hey. Hey.
Hey, there we are.
These are sick.
There we go, guys.
Awesome. Are there any interactions on the
product?
Oh, we got Like when you hit the
There's
prompt.
no this. So we take a pretty like minimal approach to interactions, to be honest. But this is where it's like up to the designer now to like add their interactions on top of that. But I think a cool interaction could be to like get like different angles of the bike as you hover
Mm,
over. Like you could like change the angle of the bike. That would be pretty cool.
that would be
Um,
sick. Something I wish that we were able to do. If I had a bike here, I would have captured a scene in Luma, like a Nerf, essentially, like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
product. It's they use Gaussian splats, but the file sizes of those embeds are like, for objects, they're under 8 MB. So you can
Oh
literally
wow.
embed it in an iframe. It's fully interactive 3D. And it'll just plug right in like any other embed. It's crazy.
That's cool, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sick. Gee, wow. Yeah, 8 MB is totally fine for this.
They're gonna
For
go down to like 4 in the next couple weeks.
oh wow, that's
Yeah,
epic.
it's crazy.
Yeah, nice. 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 There we are. We have a pretty good looking website done in what I think it took us like an hour to do.
Well, yeah, we're
Pretty
gonna call it an hour. We hit it at 4:30. We did it at 4:30.
yeah.
Hey, Adam for the win. Always comes through.
No,
Adam
this
never
has been
misses
fun,
a
man.
deadline. Yeah, this is awesome. Like, I mean, it's just crazy to see, right? You start with something that was a prompt, right? It was just a description of the product is where we began. What was the initial prompt again for the sitemap?
The initial prompt, which you can find, was
Starting
here. So
from this prompt, just describing a product, right? Something that you could even have like ChatGPT assist you with to get this even more
exactly, yeah.
detailed, right? And setting a number of pages. We generated a full sitemap that we could edit, that we could adjust the copy, change the sections, and then we used that to generate the wireframes, which plugged into Relume's amazing library that they have, and selected all these different pages, created all of these different wireframes for us. And then we had the Relume style guide, right? So we were able to just copy this straight over into Webflow and Figma, where we had our typography set, our button stylings, our shadowing, and our weights and our color palettes all ready to go. And we were able to, in an hour, generate a fully responsive landing page for a non-existent electric bike. And with all the assets also generated in Midjourney, right? But I mean, just to show like what you can do for a client now, even if the client hasn't even passed you their assets yet, like you can use something like Midjourney along with these tools to create an entire mock-up landing page that feels totally real, right? And sells the idea across before you actually have to go in and like go do the product shot where you bring that bike up to the mountain and actually get the real photo, right? Maybe you don't even need to do that, right? You just have to have the client take a clean shot against a white background. We could use these other tools like the Shopify thing to change it up. So just like so many possibilities presented by bringing these things together. It's really incredible. The only thing that I would do different if we had the time is to try and get like a scan, like to show something in 3D as well. That would be so epic. And now it's just, you know, playing with the interactions. We will wait for that make it pop button to juice this up a little bit. And I'm blown away, man. I think what you guys are doing at Relume is incredible. It's like such an obvious win for anybody who's doing design. Just saves so much time and headache. And it's just awesome to see how quickly you can spin something out like this these days. Like, and we got a link for people to go and
Thanks, man.
it themselves. Like this is awesome.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to share this with everybody in the community. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about Relume, just hit me up. I'm on Twitter, Adam Mura. My DMs are open. So yeah, happy to help you out, point you in the right direction. And yeah, thanks for giving me the platform to demo this. It's been fun.